happened to you and Schroeder on Sunday?
Yeah, it did. That was so fucking annoying.
Shut up,
Yep,
Sadie.
I'm alive. Maybe. Yeah,
You,
no, yep, I'm alive.
James is alive. He is alive. He is alive. He
I
is
am alive.
alive.
Barely, but I'm alive.
Hey man,
I'm fucking exhausted. We're both exhausted.
join. Are you on? Yes, you are. There she is, right there, baby. Okay, go back to my stream. So, anyways, once again, welcome to Level Unlock Podcast, our special Gamescom 2019 special podcast. Schroeder is not with us tonight, but he will be back with us as normal on Sunday for our regular episode 31 of the Level Unlock Podcast.
Yep.
Um, Myself, as always, Captain Geach, Captain underscore Geach 15, as well as Mr. James here, People I Hate Studios and People I Hate 10. We're going to skip going over our weeks just because we just kind of talked about it 2 days ago,
Yep.
and that takes away from Sunday. So, kind of kicking right off, uh, let's start with how did you like Gamescom?
Uh,
What'd you think?
I thought it was better than E3. Let me get rid of
There,
that.
there, there was a bunch.
There was some fucking banger news.
I wish we could watch. I guess technically we could, but it wouldn't really do any justice for the audio only viewers. Um, to watch the trailers, some of them,
Yeah.
but um,
What
yeah,
did,
there
did
was a
you
bunch.
did you watch Gamescom at all? Did you watch the conferences or did you just read about them?
I watched them after the fact. I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them live,
Okay,
but I
I
did
didn't either.
watch and I watched them after the fact. Took a bunch of notes,
All
as
right,
well
real
as
quick.
I found some hidden gems that kind of like E3, where they do like the interviews after the fact.
Yeah, it wasn't a
I
part of
have
the
a
main
bunch of that
stage
stuff
or
as well.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Cool, because I don't have anything like that. I was hoping you could
Which I don't
delve into
know
that.
why they do that.
Probably smaller
I don't,
games. Smaller things are from
yeah, I
like
guess.
companies that aren't in the like.
Well,
Cause,
Microsoft even did that because they had to explain more off screen what the X Cloud was. So
oh
why the
really?
fuck wouldn't you just why wouldn't you just explain that
Probably
like
because
during the actual conference?
they have a set time. They
Yeah,
probably have a
that's
set
true.
time frame. Um,
So what were you saying? You had a question for me? I don't know if you
what
remember.
did you think of the Stadia event? Real quick, how boring was it?
I don't understand. I guess that's the thing. It's kind of like a direct, Nintendo Direct type thing.
Minus all the fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Who is the company that made fun of that? Said that that's the thing to
Devolver
do now.
Digital
Yeah, Devolver.
during their E3 thing.
Yeah, like you're inside the brain of the CEO or whatever.
Yeah.
She got killed. Um,
From the last E3. I
yeah,
love how I love how they have this continuing story going on.
I get it that it saves a lot of money from having to have like an actual stage and conference and stuff, but at the same time, you're right. It takes away the
But you can still
like
have
the enthusiasm.
you can still have fun. Like the Nintendo ones are still a lot of fun to watch,
Yeah.
but like this Google Stadia one was just so professional.
Well, it's Google too. This is their inaugural stance into the gaming world.
Yeah, but you could still
So
have fun.
yeah, but they honestly they could have made it a little more not cut and dry. But I get that they wanted to like maintain an image that we're Google, one of the world's largest companies. We're gonna bring you an evolutionary um, system that's. I even have a news article that talks about that, about how Google's leap into the video game industry poses to disrupt the $1.35 billion industry.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Um, you don't think it will?
No,
With the huge
no,
shift
no,
into
because you have to buy the games individually. You still have to buy the games like normal. I don't think that's going to really get people into it as much.
you
It's
don't
going to
think
be a
so?
little bit more of a barrier of entry because it's one thing to like, oh hey, with like games on PlayStation, like DuckTales Remastered just got taken off like the PS3 and 360.
Yeah.
Um, if you still have it downloaded, you can still play it forever. It's
Yeah.
not locked in any way, shape, or form. But with things like the Google Stadia and the xCloud, well, what happens if, Destiny 2 gets taken off of the Google Stadia? Those hundreds of hours I spent and that $60 I spent is now completely down the fucking drain.
Yeah. Well, let's keep on. We'll start with the Google Stadia then. We'll keep,
Yeah, let's get the boring shit out of the way.
since we're already kind of on it. So, pretty much for those who aren't familiar, we kind of talked about it in the past. Essentially, the Google Stadia it's a streaming platform that allows you to stream to Pixel books, Pixel phones, like James has, full-fledged games from the big companies: Ubisoft, Bethesda, EA, Take-Two, and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So, with that, they went over the pricing. So you will receive for free without you have to have the Google subscription, but for the Google Stadia base, you'll get 1080, 60 frames per second, as well as stereo sound.
Yep. 2.0
If you
channel.
would like to stream in 4K with 5.1 surround and have access to Google Stadia's free gaming library, which they haven't
announced shit
I
on it
didn't
yet.
see anything. Yeah, I don't think they have anything on it right now.
No. Nothing.
They eventually will, where you basically will get to play the games on there for free with the membership. It's $10 a month, and it's called the Stadia Pro. From that, it gives you the 4K content, allows you to stream in 4K.
4K 60.
And supposedly, all you need is 35 megabytes. The speed that you need to stream a game like Destiny,
or like Assassin's Creed.
Odyssey on your phone, on your Chromebook, and it looks just as good, if not better, than the PlayStation 4 or Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the games they announced?
Yeah.
Do you have that?
So here, let's go off like a little list of what they of the entire Connect. So pretty much they started off with a quick recap of what Google Stadia is. They announced that they are almost out of Google Stadia Founders Edition, the 129 pack that includes the controller, Chromecast Ultra, 3-month subscription, and then another 3-month subscription for a friend. They also announced that Watch Dogs Legion is coming to the Stadia, and then probably the big thing was Cyberpunk. Showing off Cyberpunk coming to Google Stadia.
Yeah, I seen that. I think that's actually kind of big. Cyberpunk 2077 with Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Reeves. Mortal Kombat 11. Doom Essential.
Doom Eternal. Darksiders Genesis, which they showed off at E3. Kine, which we'll get more into in a little bit, which I put 3D puzzle platformer machines trying to make a band. They talked about it at the Nintendo event as well. Orcs Must Die 3. I know that's a very popular series. It's a Stadia exclusive. The big thing that they're going to have is 500 mob armies.
Nice.
There's going to be like a whole dedicated thing where it's just like, oh, here's a 500-man wave. Good luck. Good luck, fucko.
That's not bad. They have talked about a little bit researching the possibility of doing what Sony, Ubisoft is launching next month, where they have the games on the platform for one flat fee and you don't pay per game.
That's how it should be.
They're looking into that, but there is no date or time as to when it will actually happen because they have to get approval from the actual companies.
Yeah, they have to get the okay. Because I'm sure, because a lot of them, like
Sony's already established. That's how Sony can do it. That's how Microsoft can do it.
That's how
This isn't.
Ubisoft can do it. That's how EA can
Well,
do
yeah.
it.
Yep. Well, they're just using their own games, so that's
Well, yeah, but still. Well, and
yeah,
then Sony and Microsoft use their own games as well.
yeah, that's true. Um, but I think once it gets established, and if it does come to where um, it actually took off and it's actually big, I think the other companies will allow them to um, make a platform like that where it's $15 a month to play whatever game is allowed to be played on the Google Stadia.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, you're immediately going to lose Ubisoft and EA games. You're
Yeah, because they
immediately
have
going to
their
lose
own.
them. Yeah, they have their own. So why would you do that? Why would they do that when it's going to cut into their profit margin?
If it's not working, if
Yeah, I mean,
if
like last ditch effort.
yeah, to keep it alive.
Hmm.
But for all we know, people might say, "Hey, I want a fucking game hardcore on my phone. Let's do it." Because you can buy controllers and sync them up Bluetooth with your phone, and that
Uh-huh.
works.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Chromebooks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just
So
Bluetooth control. I mean, hell, you can sync up a PS4 controller.
yeah,
Nyko made a thing for the PS4 controllers when they first came out, where it'll slap your phone on top of the above the PlayStation 4, the DualShock 4.
so this unfortunately, it's honestly a wait and see type concept. Comes out in October. Um, so October, I don't know the actual date.
Yeah, I don't
If you
know
have
either.
it. But it's a soft launch. It's the same soft launch that um, Microsoft is doing with the xCloud.
Hmm.
So the full capabilities, such as the game store for free, that won't come until next year.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that probably won't come until like mid to end of next year, just like the xCloud will. They're releasing it now because Microsoft said that they're releasing theirs, so kind of go head to head with
Competitive,
each other.
compete it with it. Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not going to gain really anything from it other than paying $60 for a game that you may already have to play it on your phone
Yeah.
or your TV
Exactly. So
without the system.
let's go quickly over the games that are coming out for it that they showed off. So
Yeah.
Windjammers 2, Destroy All Humans remake, Mortal Kombat 11, like you said, Super Hot, the sequel to Super Hot, Super Hot Mind Control Delete, Farming Simulator 19 Platinum Edition, now including logging and horses, Samurai Showdown, Grid, Doom Eternal, like you said, Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle, Elder Scrolls Online, and then Borderlands 3.
Did you say Watchdog Legions?
Yeah, they said that at the beginning. But
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I put a little thing with Borderlands 3. We should be careful that we talked about it because we might get private investigators coming to our house.
Yeah. I'll leave that one off the table. Kind of slide that under the rug for a minute. How did you get this information? You guys talked about it at a press conference. How did you know we talked about it at a press conference?
We fucking watched
it
it on the
was-
live stream, dude. Like, get on it.
Lies. So yeah, that's pretty much the Google Stadia for the most part.
It was a 30-minute slog, is the best that I can put it. Best way I can put it.
Honestly, if you ever watched the State of Play, the Nintendo's
No, don't even compare it to
thing.
those. Don't even compare it
Well,
to those. 'Cause those aren't
they
slogs.
tried to do that.
Yeah, they tried to do that, but
They-
they failed.
Yeah, they tried to make it like that, but it was. You have to look. There's one scene where James kind of hit the nail on the head. That the lady looks like she's literally being held at gunpoint, like forced to read off a prompter. Like, she's like, yes, like she looks
Yeah,
scared out of her
She does.
life.
She has like a blank fucking expression and it's spooky.
Yeah.
It's super spooky.
Um.
So let's talk
go ahead.
about the good version of that, the Nintendo, the Nindies event.
Yeah.
Nintendo Indie World, sorry. So
Let's do it.
they started off with Risk of Rain 2, showing off the 4-player multiplayer. It's coming out this summer for the Nintendo Switch. Eastward, which is a post-apocalyptic isometric dungeon crawler with some really nice 16-bit graphics. That's coming out next year. Freedom Finger. Do you see that?
I see. Yeah, Nintendo has some weird ass games. Like I don't understand Nintendo at times. Like,
Fuck. So Freedom
like
Finger.
they're not afraid to make like cutting edge games that might kind of like draw the line a little bit.
They're not afraid to put good stuff on their platform.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's a scrolling shooter, side-scrolling shooter, a shmup, if you will. You're a finger shooting stuff, but the cool thing about it is you can pick up the enemies and use them as weapons. So like if you see like a anti-aircraft gun or something like that, you could pick it up and start using that to shoot with it. There's also middle finger that's censored, which I really appreciate. 36 levels, which is pretty damn big for a side-scroller shooter like that, and it's coming out this fall. There was Roki, which is a lot of snow, and there's like a giant wolf. Looks absolutely beautiful. Snow is going to be a theme. I don't know if you noticed this, Walker, but snow is definitely a theme of this Gamescom.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit with snow.
Which I made sense. I'm like, kind of, not really.
Not really.
No. They showed more about Ori.
Yep.
That it's the Blind Forest.
Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. That's coming out. What's cool about that is it's the second Microsoft Game Studios published game.
Yep.
There was Torchlight 2, which is another dungeon crawler. Showed off some multiplayer. That's coming out September 3rd. Skater XL reminds me a lot of Skate. Very physics based. They tout that no two tricks are the same. It's a skateboarding game where you do the same trick, but it's not going to be the exact same every single time, just like in real life. That's coming out next year, 2020. Europa, which was that weird like third person game where you're running across, like, it looked like Paris.
Yeah, it was I don't know where it was. I know you're talking about that. I don't know where. I wouldn't even say like Paris.
I thought it looked like, I thought I saw the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, maybe.
And at the beginning,
but at some points it looks like you're in freaking Pandora because you're in the sky.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because you end up in the sky on like ropes that remind you of, actually, kind of almost like Final Fantasy 15-esque, where you have this city on the ground and then above it you have like this giant other city floating in the air.
You mean Final Fantasy 7?
Oh, it's 15 or 10, maybe 10.
I don't know.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 10. That's what I'm thinking of. If you ever played 10, you wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
No, I played 10. That was my first real Final Fantasy that I played. First Final Fantasy I really played.
You meet that dude. They like that. Like one of the final bosses. I don't remember that guy's name.
Anime hair.
Yeah.
Blue anime hair.
You meet him. Yeah. Hey, you meet him.
They showed off Super Hot. That's available today on the Switch. They showed off the new Dungeon Defenders. Dungeon Defenders Awakened. 4-player tower defense. They showed off 4-player split screen. It's going to be a timed exclusive coming February 2020. Hopefully it's going to get the bad taste out of everyone's mouths from the sequel, which not many people liked because, hey, it was free to play and it had a lot of free to play mechanics in it.
Oh, yeah.
There was the Tourist. That looked pretty interesting. I really liked the voxel art it had. The little like 3D, like almost like 3D pixel art.
Taurus goes to Germany.
What?
Taurus goes to Germany. That's the rest of it, isn't it?
No, I didn't think so. I thought it was just called the Tourist.
The Taurus goes to Germany. And I read it's like a Zelda-like style, like gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's a lot of like puzzle platforming stuff in it, which is pretty neat. You don't really see that kind of art style in puzzle platformers.
No, that's kind of like their go-to thing. Um, Roki is a puzzle adventure. Europa is a puzzle platform. Um, this like there is like that's kind of like their thing. I've noticed Nintendo is
Yeah,
for the most part.
pretty much.
That Nintendo is.
I mean, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's easy to make, but I mean, like it's
I
easier to
guess
make.
for the type of graphics that it has, it makes sense to have that.
Yeah,
I guess they've always been that way because they've never had a system with like true like graphics like the PlayStation or Xbox.
yeah. Nuts. I would
So
say since the Super Nintendo,
yeah,
have they had a system that could actually was up to technical snuff as the other ones.
and hey, it works for them. They don't need it, so
No, Nintendo's
they
always
have all these.
everyone like Nintendo's always been the company that's like, oh, okay, we're not going to compete against Microsoft and Sony. We're just going to be that other company that everyone has.
Yeah,
Like, because like when the Wii came out, it was always like everyone had a Wii and then either an Xbox or PlayStation.
yep,
There
yes.
was there was Skellboy. Did you see that shit? The one where you're the skeleton.
I don't recall. I'm looking.
Yeah, it's a like a third person action adventure, and you're a skeleton. But the cool thing about it is,
I don't see that one.
you pick up body parts, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
like your
Okay,
weapons and armor that you equipped.
it almost looks like what's that game for the Xbox 360? That one that was huge back in the day. Not Clash of Clans, but Clash of Titano.
That was a movie
Was
and
that?
a game.
It was ones where you were little dudes like this and you shot arrows and battled people and Clash of something.
I have
Hang
not even a single fucking idea.
on. Let's see what we got here.
Are you just googling Xbox 360 game? Are you sure you're not talking about like Clash of Clans?
No, it's not Clash of Clans. It might be. No, it's not Clash of Clans.
Okay.
What the fuck is it? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, if you look, the graphics look the same in
Okay.
a sense, where you have these your little like small like little soldier dudes with like bow and arrows or like swords, and you go around and fight things. Fuck, I don't remember. I don't remember what it's called. It's gonna
Yeah,
make me mad.
I have absolutely no idea. Not even a single clue. There was Earth Knight. Where that was the cool one where it's like a platformer where you're running across dragons in the sky. It takes place in space. It looks pretty fun, I must say. That's coming out this year. Basically, it's like it's just basically like a runner, an endless runner almost, but you're running across dragons and shit. The big thing that they dropped was the Hotline Miami collection. That was probably one of the biggest things that they showed off.
Yeah.
You get the 2 Hotline Miami games. It's the big thing that they showed off was that it's available now. Okay, so this is the part that I dubbed Speed Round Go, where they just kind of threw off a whole bunch of games. There was the action platform Blasphemous coming out September 26th. Close to the Sun is a first-person puzzle game coming out in 2019. Cat Quest 2 is an action RPG starring cats that's coming out this fall. Spiritfarer, talked about it during E3, spring 2020. Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, coming out October 8th. The big thing about Trine 4 is that it's only 2 players. 2-player co-op puzzle adventure, or puzzle platformer. If I'm remembering correctly, the other games had 3-player co-op, but they only showed off 2-player.
Yeah, I think so too.
There was One Finger Death Punch 2
Yeah.
coming out December 2nd. It reminds me of that those old like Newgrounds stick figure animations.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. The same thing. It's so stupid but funny.
There was Best Friends Forever, and let me just put everything that I put on here. February 14th, dating sim, bunch of hipsters, fucking puppers, take pupper for walk, care for pupper, level up pupper, love pupper.
It's not wrong.
There's that weird game. Was it like Fogs? Phogs. Fogs.
Yeah.
That's coming out early
Uh,
2020. The best way I described it is cat dog minus the cat and add another dog.
I like that one too.
There was What the Golf that's coming out this winter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I don't even know how to describe that one. I don't even want to even try to describe that one. Just go look up What the Golf. There was Kine. I watched the Nintendo Direct first.
What the golf almost reminds me of like a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Like that's like the graphics you're getting out of it.
So
Not very good.
So with Kine, I put 2019 weird puzzle game. Again, I don't know how to describe it. Because like you're different musical instrument robots that have to kind of like get to a goal by using their abilities to traverse the world, the little stage. Hypercharge on box, which actually looks pretty cool. That was the first person shooter coming out this winter. It reminds me of the movie Toy Soldiers. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me the one that they played on Cartoon Network like all the fucking time.
Yep. Yep. That actually does look kind of cool. It kind of does almost. Kind of.
Mm-hmm. Northgard, coming September 26th. It's a real-time strategy game set in Viking times. Sparklight, which is top-down action adventure, coming out this fall. Munchkin Quacked Quest, which is a dungeon crawler, coming out this fall. Yeah, I guess it uses the cards from the Munchkin game. Never played the Munchkins game, so I can't say. And then Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition.
I think the unboxed Hypercharge unboxed would be kind of cool. I used to like those games. It kind of reminds me of another game. I don't know if you ever played it. Like I don't know if it's called Toy Soldier or like Army. It was when you're actually like little, like those green army men you could buy at the store.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They had a game. I don't remember if it was
They had a bunch of them.
PlayStation. I don't know if it was a PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation, where you played as those little guys and you were in
The little
people's
army men.
backyards and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was PlayStation 1. I had
Much
an
better
N64.
graphics in here.
Yeah.
But
I had an N64. So I played Sarge's Heroes, I think it was called. Army Men
something like
Sarge's
that.
Heroes.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, you know. Okay. Yeah, those are fun.
Because I very vividly remember the kitchen level in that, where you're running in the kitchen and stuff like that. And I thought it was pretty cool.
Those games are fun. Yeah, your little Army Men Sarge's Heroes. Yep, I just looked it up. Yeah, your little green army dudes, and you're in people's backyards, their houses, things along those lines. Some of those are fucking hard as shit.
Yeah,
some
they
of those
were.
levels
They were stupid hard. I remember renting that shit, and it was on like a. Did that one? I think that one had like a black cartridge for the N64.
Yep. Yeah, it was a fun game.
I rented that shit from Blockbuster all the goddamn time.
There you go.
I'm actually going.
Yeah, I don't think I actually owned it. I think I rented mine too.
It was like one of those
Castle
things.
Crashers.
Okay, okay, Castle Crashers.
That's what the one game we were talking about earlier reminded me of. I couldn't think what it was. I knew it was something started with the fucking C. So I was close.
Do you want to do the Inside Xbox and save the opening night live for last?
Yeah, no, we definitely can.
So
Go ahead.
so far we've had one pretty good show and one slog. And thankfully, the Stadia Connect was the only bad show of the bunch. At least in my opinion. It was the only bad one of the bunch. Both of which were only like half hour long, too, which is nice. My
Yeah,
nose
horrible.
is fucking running like crazy. I don't know why.
Yeah, mine too. I don't
It's either my nose is
know.
running or it's just sweat. So it started off with Borderlands 3. Woo.
Again.
Split screen. Ah, fuck. Inside Xbox is presented by Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been promoting that game a lot,
Yeah, they need to stop.
which is weird because they started their Xbox conference with Borderlands on E3.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't. I don't know if they have a lot riding on it because of Borderlands 2 was, no, Borderlands 1 was considered one of the best games for that console.
Yeah, for the
For the 360, so maybe they just have a lot riding on it and hopes
Maybe.
that who knows. They had a bunch of different stuff. Go ahead.
I turned off my light because this isn't a professional podcast. This isn't the official one, so it's too hot with the fucking light on.
Oh, I bet. Gears of War. We'll start with
Oh,
that. Gears 5.
Are you sure you want to talk about that first, or do you want to save that for last? Because that was.
We can say that for last.
Do you want to talk about Blair Witch?
Yeah,
First game?
yeah, I'm cool with that.
Let's just go down the line. Let's go down the list of everything they talked about.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Oh
Yeah, I was
boy,
thinking
does
about that. I
Blair
was like,
Witch
do we
look
wanna-
good?
So, I read I was reading an article about it, so I don't know if I can find it again, but essentially the Blair Witch trailer explains why you never want to go in the woods. It's essentially what it comes down to.
Exactly. Fuck the woods.
It's essentially what it comes down to is that it's definitely it's gonna make you jump
Oh,
type game.
Yeah, definitely.
It's what they're going after in that, which is good because that's not necessarily good, but at the same time there isn't a lot of games like that anymore.
No, horror
Not
games are
that-
still a very niche genre. It's been a niche genre, and
Yeah, not that that's a huge market of people that like those games that jump out at you and make you like scream like a little girl.
I mean, I love them.
You got your not your Final Fantasies, Jesus Christ, your Resident Evil 7s and shit.
And my
that do
Silent
that.
Hill 2s. Well, they don't make you go, ah. They're like, oh, that's disturbing.
Sneak preview for Sunday. We talked about it last week, but I got some more news on some Resident Evil shit that you might be interested in, James.
Are you sure, or are you just playing with my emotions?
No, I'm sure. Well, probably not because it's more movie related.
Oh,
but...
God, fuck.
But it's a good transition, but we'll talk about that later. So essentially, it's a handy cam game where you're in the woods. If you haven't seen the trailer, make sure you go see it. What's your take on it?
I think it looks good. I like the pupper in it. That was pretty cool, having the pupper. That's also another theme, too. Did you notice all the dogs that they had in this?
Yeah, dogs and snow.
Dogs and snow. A lot of footage of the main character, Ellis, holding the gun. And then I put, just fucking do it, Ellis.
Well, because he's trapped in the Blair Witch, so...
No, that was like flashback shit.
Well, yeah.
That was
true.
flashback. He was like, because I put, Pupper, you're a fuck up. Lots of footage of main character Ellis holding a gun, and then just fucking do it, Ellis, in all caps.
If you've seen the movies, I would say it's slightly similar to that.
Okay.
Not like a fucking remake of it or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna make you jump. I think it's definitely gonna make you scared. And I see it more of a suspense game.
Okay.
So
That's true horror right there. Suspense, not just jump scares. I actually had what was it yesterday? A really good conversation with Mitchell about the differences between Silent Hill and what was that?
Shut up! I had ads going on like 4 different things, and I was like, "Shut up!"
About the differences with Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I'll talk more about it Sunday, but I had a really good discussion with him about it. before we
I
were
like it.
recording.
I know we skipped it, but Borderlands. They
Yeah,
announced.
hold on. Where
Okay,
was Borderlands on here? Yeah, okay, so here we go. Here's my notes on Borderlands 3.
I can't wait.
Randy is here, but a different one. Year anniversary of Borderlands 1. Oh, 3 year. Oh, I did not type that out right. It's an anniversary of the first Borderlands. Takes place on multiple planets. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. Walker, you can take this.
Ah, oh, I'm just gonna fast forward to this one. I don't really give two shits. That's fucking hilarious. You actually wrote. I'm just gonna fast forward through this. So they introduced the new mode. It's called Endgame mode.
Okay.
So, according to everything, Borderlands 3 will be up there for one of the most anticipated games of the year, and most likely be considered for Game of the Year.
No, better not. Fucking
Um,
better not.
Gamescom.
With all the games that we had this year, fucking better not.
Yeah, but who actually knows?
We had 3
Way-
Game of the Years already. 3 Game of the Year contenders already this year. 4. 4. If you include Mario Maker.
Yeah, that's true. So, Gamescom gave us a new look at the new mode for endgame content. It's called.
That's so stupid that they showed off endgame stuff.
Yeah.
They showed off like endgame gameplay.
Yep. It's called Proving Grounds. So essentially, the challenges operate like a horde mode in other games where they just come at you and
Okay.
come at you and come at you and come at you. Hang on a second.
So from what it sounds like, it's going to be another horde mode, just like how everyone was doing horde modes when Gears of War 2 was out.
Yeah. So essentially, it's just a non-stop horde mode. You have to take on missions to find ancient writings that give you coordinates to the proving grounds. Once you fend off all the waves of enemies, the longer you last, the better loot that you'll be awarded with. So that's essentially what it is.
Okay.
It's basically if you. Well, we played Borderlands, and there's times when the enemies are just coming at you like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that, but like on steroids.
Okay.
And then essentially you complete the missions, complete the levels, and then you get better loot than you would in the regular games. Essentially.
Yeah.
Where are we at here? This is what I was gonna do. What's the next game?
Let's talk about the stuff coming to the Game Pass, shall we?
Speaking of Game Pass, for those who are not familiar with it, Game Pass Ultimate was announced at E3, and it's ramping up even more now. So essentially what it is... Go ahead.
Yeah, oh no, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So it's
I didn't know if
Xbox...
you were going to talk about it or not.
Yeah, I was just going to bring it up really quick. It's the Xbox Live Gold membership combined with their Game Pass for $15 a month.
For both PC and Xbox One.
Yes. Which to me is actually a pretty good deal.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a good deal.
New subscribers can get 2 months for $2 if you sign up right now. So if you never had an Xbox membership before or anything like that, you can sign up for $2. It's now available now through the 20th, and after the 2 months, it'll go to the normal $15 unless you cancel it.
Yep. I like how when it was there for like $1, I liked when people were finding workarounds, because if you had Xbox Live Gold, you could upgrade it for that $1, and you would have Xbox One Ultimate or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for that entire period that you're still good with Xbox Live Gold. So people were doing shit like getting 1 year subscriptions to Xbox Live, and then hitting that upgrade for $1 button, and then for that entire 2 years they would have Xbox Ultimate,
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, so that's pretty big. Also, side note too, I forgot to add for Blair Witch, you can actually stop what you're doing and pet your dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can pet
Yeah.
the dog in Blair Witch.
Yeah, you can interact with the dog in the Blair Witch Project.